Okay, so I need to tell you something, and honestly, this might completely change how you think about what's been happening to you lately. Tomorrow, May 14th, something rare is occurring in the sky. The Sun and Mercury are aligning in a way that only happens a few times a year. But this one? This one feels different. And I don't say that lightly. At 10:30 in the morning, Mercury is going to pass directly behind the Sun, and in that exact moment, something extraordinary happens. Mercury sits in what ancient astrologers called the heart of the Sun. It's a moment of supreme clarity, a cosmic reset for the mind, a purification of how we think, communicate, and process reality. But here's what's really getting my attention. This isn't just about Mercury and the Sun. There's something else happening at the exact same degree, at the exact same moment, that almost nobody is talking about. And if you've been feeling this strange pull to completely restructure how you take care of yourself, how you manage your resources, or how you relate to the physical world, there's a very specific reason for that, and I'm going to break it down later in this video. But first, I think you need to understand what's already been happening to you, because this alignment, it's not starting tomorrow. I believe you've already been under its influence for days now, and you're definitely not alone in this. You've been craving stability in a way that feels almost urgent. So here's something I've been noticing, and honestly, I've been feeling this myself too. Over the past week, maybe even longer, there's been this deep, almost primal need for stability, for groundedness, for things to just make sense in a tangible way. Maybe you've suddenly felt the urge to organize your finances, to clean out your closet, to meal prep for the entire week, to finally deal with that pile of paperwork you've been ignoring. And if that's you, I really want you to know, this isn't random anxiety. This isn't you suddenly becoming obsessive. I think this is your body and mind preparing for something. Mercury has been moving through Taurus, the sign that governs the physical world, material resources, and everything you can touch, taste, and feel. And as it's been approaching this alignment with the Sun, I believe it's been pulling your attention toward the most practical, grounded parts of your life. You might have found yourself asking questions you don't normally ask, like, is my job actually sustainable? Are my daily habits serving me? Do I have enough saved? Am I taking care of my body the way I should be? Does that resonate? And here's what I think is happening. The closer we get to this alignment, the more the universe is forcing you to get real about your foundation. Because what's coming through tomorrow isn't just a nice spiritual message. I believe it's a blueprint. A clear, undeniable vision of what needs to change in order for you to build something that lasts. Your mind has been unusually quiet, and that's actually a good sign. Now, this might sound strange, but stay with me on this one. Have you noticed that your mind has been quieter lately? Like the usual mental chatter, the overthinking, the endless loops of worry. It's not as loud as it used to be. At first, you might have thought something was wrong. Maybe you felt a little foggy, a little disconnected, but I don't think that's what's happening at all. I believe your mind is clearing space for what's about to come through. When Mercury aligns with the Sun in this specific way, what astrologers call a superior conjunction, it's like Mercury is taking a step back to see the bigger picture. It's moving to its furthest point from Earth, which means the perspective shifts from personal and subjective to universal and objective. Does that make sense? This isn't about what you think, it's about what you know, deep, undeniable knowing that rises up from a place beyond logic. And in order for that to come through, all the mental noise has to settle down first. So if you've been feeling less anxious, less caught up in your thoughts, less reactive to things that would normally trigger you, that's not numbness. I really believe that's preparation. Your mind is making room for clarity that's been trying to reach you for a long time. The messages are about to get very, very clear. All right, so tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning, Mercury moves into the exact heart of the Sun, and this is where things get interesting. Because when a planet is this close to the Sun, within about 17 minutes of arc, which is incredibly precise, something shifts. Normally, when a planet is close to the Sun, it's considered combust, it's weakened, overwhelmed by the Sun's energy. But when it's this exact, when it crosses into the very center, the opposite happens. It becomes enthroned. It's like the sun is saying, "All right, you have my full attention, speak." And what that means for you is this. Whatever insights, realizations, or messages have been trying to reach you, tomorrow they're going to break through with stunning clarity. I'm talking about those moments where you just know, where there's no doubt, no second guessing, no "maybe I'm overthinking this," just pure crystalline truth. Now, am I saying this is 100% guaranteed to be a lightning bolt moment for everyone? No, I can't promise that. But what I can tell you is that the conditions are perfect. The cosmic door is wide open. And if you've been asking for guidance, for answers, for a sign, this is it. This is your moment. But there's something else happening, and it's bigger than you think. Remember when I said there's something else occurring at the exact same degree, at the exact same time? Okay, this is it. And honestly, this was a huge realization for me when I started to understand what was going on. There's a dwarf planet called Ceres. In mythology, she's the goddess of the harvest, agriculture, and the cycles of the earth. She rules over how we nurture ourselves, how we relate to food, resources, and our physical body. And tomorrow, at the exact moment Mercury aligns with the Sun, Ceres is stationing retrograde at the same degree. Let me explain what that means. When a planet stations, it stops moving forward and turns backward, and in that moment of stillness, its energy becomes incredibly concentrated. It's like the volume gets turned all the way up on whatever that planet represents. So what we have here is a triple alignment, the Sun, Mercury, and Ceres, all at 23 degrees of Taurus, all at the same time. And astrologers are calling this a financial epiphany day. A moment where the flaws in how we've been managing our resources, our health, our relationship to the earth, all of it gets illuminated with blinding clarity. And here's the part that really gets my attention. This isn't just about you individually. I think this is a collective wake-up call. A moment where humanity as a whole is being forced to reckon with how we've been treating our bodies, our planet, and our systems of survival. The calm before the lightning strike. Now, here's where the timeline gets really important, and this is something I really need you to understand, because it's not just about what's happening tomorrow, it's about what's coming right after. This Sun-Mercury alignment in Taurus, it's the last moment of stability before everything accelerates, because just 3 days later, on May 17th, Mercury enters Gemini. And within hours of crossing that threshold, it slams into Uranus, the planet of sudden change, disruption, and awakening. The Sun follows the exact same path 5 days after that, Gemini, Uranus, boom. So what does that mean for you? It means the insights you receive tomorrow, the clarity that breaks through, the realizations about your foundation. They're not just nice-to-know information. I believe they're survival tools. They're the anchors you're going to need when the energy shifts from slow and steady to fast and unpredictable. Right now, you're in the calm. You're in the grounded, earthy, stable energy of Taurus, but that calm is about to give way to a storm of acceleration. And if you don't use this moment to get clear, to get solid, to make decisions and commitments that anchor you, you're going to feel like you're being swept away by forces you can't control. This is why tomorrow matters so much, not because it's the end of something, but because it's the preparation for what's next. The 3 life-changing messages coming through. All right, so let's talk about what's actually being revealed, because this alignment isn't just delivering one message. I believe there are 3 core revelations, 3 fundamental truths that are breaking through the noise. And if you're paying attention, these messages could completely redirect your path. Your vision needs a foundation. The first message is about ideas, about dreams, about all those expansive visions you've been holding. Leading up to this alignment, both the Sun and Mercury received support from Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, and possibility. Jupiter is in Cancer right now, which means it's operating at full strength, encouraging you to think bigger, dream wider, and believe in possibilities you might have dismissed before. But here's the thing, Jupiter doesn't build, it expands, it inspires, it opens doors, but it doesn't lay the foundation, and that's what this Sun-Mercury alignment in Taurus is demanding. I think the message coming through is this: if your vision doesn't have a physical structure, it's just a fantasy. If your dreams aren't rooted in real, tangible steps, in money, in resources, in practical action, they're going to evaporate the moment things get difficult. This isn't about being pessimistic, it's about being realistic. It's about taking those beautiful, expansive ideas and asking, okay, but how? What are the actual steps? What resources do I need? What skills do I need to build? What habits do I need to establish? The clarity you're receiving tomorrow is showing you exactly where the gaps are, where you've been all vision and no foundation, where you've been hoping without building. And honestly, that can feel uncomfortable. But I really believe it's the most loving thing the universe can show you right now, because a vision without a foundation is just going to break your heart. Your relationship to security is being rewritten. The second message is deeper. It's about survival, about safety, about the way you've been trying to protect yourself in this world. The degree where this alignment is happening, 23 degrees of Taurus, sits right on the edge of two very different energies. On one side, there's the image of a jewelry shop, refined, beautiful, wealthy, a symbol of accumulation and prestige. On the other side, there's the image of a warrior with scalps hanging from his belt, aggressive, territorial, violent. And I think what this is showing us is the shadow side of security, the way we hoard resources out of fear, the way we defend what's ours with aggression, the way we treat the earth, our bodies, and even other people like conquests to be claimed and controlled. With Ceres stationing retrograde at this exact degree, I believe the message is clear. The way you've been trying to create security isn't working anymore. The aggressive accumulation, the fear-based hoarding, the belief that you have to fight for every scrap, it's exhausting you, and it's not sustainable. The alignment is asking you to shift from the archetype of the warrior to the archetype of the steward, from someone who takes and defends to someone who tends and nurtures, from scarcity thinking to abundance thinking, from control to flow. And here's what that looks like practically. It means reevaluating your relationship to money, to food, to your body, to the earth. It means asking yourself, am I operating from fear or from trust? Am I hoarding or am I circulating? Am I defending or am I nurturing? This can bring up a lot of discomfort, a lot of old wounds around not having enough, not being safe, but I think the light of this alignment is giving you the clarity to see those patterns clearly, not to judge yourself for them, but to choose differently. Ground now or you'll be swept away. And this brings us to the third and most urgent message, the strategic one, the one that says, use this moment because it's not going to last. I really want you to hear this. The stability you're feeling right now is temporary. The groundedness, the clarity, the ability to think slowly and carefully, it's a gift, but it's also a deadline. Once Mercury and the Sun cross into Gemini and hit Uranus, the energy is going to shift dramatically, suddenly, unpredictably. And if you haven't used this time to anchor yourself, to make decisions, to commit to new habits, to secure your foundation, you're going to feel like you're scrambling to keep up. This is why tomorrow is so critical, not because the universe is going to hand you all the answers on a silver platter, but because it's giving you the clarity to know what needs to be done. And then, it's on you to act. So what does that mean practically? It means if you've been on the fence about a financial decision, tomorrow is the day to commit. If you've been meaning to start a new health routine, tomorrow is the day to begin. If you've been waiting for the right time to have that difficult conversation, to set that boundary, to make that investment in yourself, this is it. This is your window. Because once the Uranus energy kicks in, everything speeds up, and while that can be exciting and liberating, it can also be chaotic if you're not grounded. The people who use this alignment to build their foundation are going to ride that wave beautifully. The people who ignore it, they're going to feel like they're drowning. You might feel a strange sense of finality tomorrow. And here's something I've been thinking about. Tomorrow might feel like an ending, not in a sad way, but in a closing the chapter kind of way. Like something that's been building for weeks or even months is finally reaching completion. You might wake up and just know that a certain phase of your life is over, that a certain way of thinking, a certain pattern, a certain relationship to yourself or your resources, it's done, finished, and you're ready to move on. If that happens, I really want you to trust it. Don't second guess it. Don't try to hold on to what's ready to be released. Because I think what's on the other side of that release is so much better than what you're leaving behind. This alignment is giving you permission to let go of the old story, the one where you had to struggle, where you had to fight for everything, where security was always just out of reach. That story is ending. And the new one, the one where you're the steward, the builder, the one who creates from a place of trust and abundance, that's what's beginning. What to actually do tomorrow? So if you're asking, okay, but what do I actually do with this information? Here's what I'd suggest. First, create space for stillness. This is not a day to fill with noise and distraction. Give yourself time to just be, to sit with your thoughts, to listen to what's trying to come through. Second, pay attention to the insights that arise. If a realization hits you, write it down. If a decision suddenly feels clear, honor it. If you feel pulled to make a commitment, make it. The clarity coming through tomorrow is real, and it deserves to be taken seriously. Third, take one concrete action, even if it's small, even if it's symbolic. Do something physical that anchors the insight into reality. Maybe it's opening a savings account. Maybe it's buying the supplies for that project you've been putting off. Maybe it's scheduling that doctor's appointment. Whatever it is, make it real. And finally, trust yourself. Trust that the messages coming through are meant for you. Trust that you have everything you need to act on them. Trust that this alignment is working in your favor, even if it doesn't feel comfortable in the moment. When the storm comes, you'll be ready. I know I keep coming back to this, but it's because I think it's so important. The energy shift that's coming after this alignment, the Uranus conjunction in Gemini, it's going to be intense, sudden, potentially overwhelming. Some people are going to love it. They're going to feel electrified, liberated, like they're finally breaking free from old constraints. Others are going to feel destabilized, anxious, like everything is changing too fast. The difference between those two experiences, I really believe it comes down to what you do tomorrow. The people who use this Sun-Mercury alignment to get clear, to get grounded, to build their foundation, they're going to be able to surf that Uranian wave with confidence. The people who ignore it, they're going to feel like they're being tossed around by forces beyond their control. So please don't underestimate this moment. Don't brush it off as just another astrology thing. This is a rare alignment of forces that are all working together to give you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. And honestly, I think that's pretty incredible. This is your moment to choose. Alright, so here's what I really want you to take away from all of this. Tomorrow, May 14th at 10:30 in the morning, you're being given a gift. A moment of supreme clarity, a cosmic download, a chance to see your path forward with more precision than you've had in months. But clarity doesn't do anything on its own. It's what you do with it that matters. You can receive these messages and then go right back to business as usual, or you can receive them and let them fundamentally change how you operate in the world. The first path is comfortable, familiar, safe. The second path requires courage, commitment, a willingness to build something new, even when you can't see the entire blueprint yet. I can't tell you which path to choose, but I can tell you that the universe is leaning heavily toward the second one right now. The energies are aligned, the support is there, the door is open. All that's left is for you to walk through it. And when you do, when you take those insights and turn them into action, I think you're going to look back on this moment as the turning point. The day everything shifted. The day you stopped waiting for permission and started building the life you actually want. Alright, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Seriously, it means a lot that you stayed with me through all of this. If this resonated with you and you want to see more content like this, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. And please drop your experiences in the comments tomorrow. I really want to hear what comes through for you, what clarity arrives, what decisions you make, what shifts you feel. We're all in this together, and I think sharing our experiences helps all of us understand what's happening on a deeper level. Take care of yourself, trust what you know, and I'll see you in the next one.